Hey guys, Justin here with ImageWorks Painting. Today we're going to be talking about protecting different surfaces before you start your painting job. We're going to talk about covering up furniture, protecting your floors, different types of floor protection, and see which one's best for you. Let's take a look at a couple different examples. One of the things that you should know about different plastics and drop cloths is that they are not all created equal. They all have different special features to them. So if you're wanting to cover a floor, if it's a huge, large floor, plastic is probably your best bet. If it's just a bedroom, I would go ahead and use a drop cloth. Now when you go see plastic at a paint store, Home Depot, Lowe's, something like that, you'll notice there are tons of different varieties. This film here, this is generally what we're going to use for windows, or if we need to drape it over top of a couch or something. It's very, very thin plastic. You can almost see straight through it. This is the kind that gets loaded onto the tape machines. If you haven't seen that video of ours, you can check that out. But plastic drop cloths are measured in mils. That's thickness. So 1,000 mils is 1 inch thick. So as you get more mils, your plastic will get thicker, stronger. It'll take a little bit more abuse if you need to walk on it on a floor. This drop cloth here, this is a 2 mil drop cloth. This is about as thin as I would go on a floor. Really, you want to get with something more like a 3 mil. That's going to be a thicker plastic. They do come in 0.31 mils. There's very, very thin stuff, but this is what I would use if I was going to have to use a plastic drop cloth. Advantages of plastic drop cloths is that they're cheap. They're disposable. You don't have to worry about keeping them nice. You don't have to wash them afterwards. The disadvantage is that paint will just sit on top of it. It doesn't soak into it like a canvas one would. You may step on the paint and drag it through the rest of your house because it just stays wet the whole time. So that's something you really need to watch out for if you're using a plastic drop cloth. The other option is a canvas drop cloth. This is one of our exterior drop cloths, so it's real dirty right now. But the paint will actually soak into it, so you're not dragging it everywhere. The disadvantage of canvas drop cloths is that if it's just a plain canvas drop cloth, no backing or anything, the paint when it soaks in goes through it. So if you're doing an interior job, or maybe you're trying to lay down a drop cloth over a driveway or something like that, the paint will soak through it. This is good to keep splatter, overspray, light paint off of your floor. However, this is not going to help you a ton if you dump over an entire can of paint. It's going to soak through it. It's still going to get on your floor, your carpet, your tile, whatever that is. Now, the best drop cloth that you can use for an interior is called a butyl-backed canvas drop cloth. So this drop cloth here is canvas on one side, so it'll soak up your paint. But then on the back side of it, it has a liner. Really hard to see in the film. You can see right there that edge. That's a butyl-backed drop cloth. So the paint will soak through the canvas on this side, but it won't go through the covering on this side. These are great for interior paint jobs because even if you kick an entire gallon of paint over on it, you don't have to worry about that paint soaking through to your new floor. Another big thing that you need to know is when you lay your drop cloth out, if you're moving around a ton, you're moving your paint trays, your buckets, your ladders, it's going to move around on you. What we suggest is just grabbing some white masking tape, taping down the edge of your drop cloth. That way it's not going to move quite as much. Now if you're going through and you're playing soccer on top of it, it's still going to slide. But that masking tape should help keep it down and keep it in place. The other thing that we do as painters, no matter how good you are, if you're using a roller on a wall, it's going to splatter. So a lot of people, a lot of professional painters, they won't use tape to cut a straight line if they're just painting a wall. But we still put tape on the top edge of a baseboard. That's to catch the roller splatter as we're rolling up and down the walls. That's really important. Otherwise, you're going to be going through and repainting all of your baseboards and maybe. Some other things that you can do to help prepare a room is just minimize the risk of actually spilling paint. You know, don't use a tray liner that's shallow and wobbly whenever it's full of paint. Use a bucket and a roller grid. we'll do a whole video on why we think that a bucket and a roller grid is so much better than just using a paint tray and a liner. Use a cut pot. Don't cut straight out of your gallon of paint. If it's full, don't cut out of your tray. Don't cut out of your 5-gallon bucket. Use something small and manageable. Even if it is a gallon of paint with just a quart left in it, you know, use something small like that. You can hold it with your thumb, dip your paintbrush into it. Speaking of dipping your paintbrush into the paint, don't cover all of the bristles. That's just drips and splatters waiting to happen. You only need about 1/3 of the bristles on the bottom covered whenever you go painting a line. So little things like that you can do to help just minimize the risk of spilling paint are huge. So like I said, use tape where you need it, tops of baseboards to catch roller splatter, to hold down your drop cloths. Use the right type of drop cloth for the job that you're doing. If we were going to paint a massive warehouse, we're going to lay down a ton of paper because it's the least expensive thing. We're not going to lay down 800 drop cloths with butyl backing on them. If you're painting a hallway, get a butyl backed liner. 4x15 is the one that I just used here in this video. It's perfect for a hallway. You know, if you're painting a bedroom, they make 10x12 canvas drop cloths. The plastic that I had was 10x12, 2 mils thick. So use the right type of protection for your floor. When you're protecting everything else in the room, make sure that you're covering it in plastic. Use tape to hold that plastic down, because if your AC kicks on in the middle of the job and that plastic, or you accidentally turn your fan on, that plastic starts whipping around, it can get in the wet paint on your walls, it can move the plastic off of the furniture, and now you've got splatter marks all over your furniture. These are just different tips and tricks to make sure that you're protecting your home and your investment whenever you're doing some painting by yourself. These are also things that you should watch for whenever you have a professional painter doing it. Is he taking the time to make sure he's protecting your stuff? You know, our guys, they make sure they've got drop cloths under them wherever they're painting. So this is really important stuff for you guys. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned a little bit about protecting your room and your furniture for whenever you go to paint a room yourself. If you guys need any help and you happen to be in the Tampa or Pittsburgh area, go ahead and give us a call at ImageWorks Painting. We'd be happy to come out and give you a free quote. If you like these types of videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, and it'll let you know every week when we submit a new video. Thanks, guys.